speech. Now, I call upon Tom Fletcher, CMJ, Hartford College, to continue the case for opposition.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. President, and thank you for this chance to be in this extraordinary place debating an issue of such importance at this time. And I'm very grateful to the speakers who've gone before me so far. The wisdom of DP, that calm, reassuring voice, and that fact-filled analysis of the situation that we face. The humor of Alex, which I thought was absolutely superb. I must say that I'm relishing this debate tonight, but I'm relishing our principles collection in the morning even more, Alex. But I am sad that I'm not allowed to take selfies during the speech. I'm very disappointed about that, Mr. President. Now, clearly, from what we've been told so far, we're going to hear this pantomime cast of villains again and again and again tonight. We're going to hear Jeff Bezos. How many times? 4 so far? 5? Zuckerberg. 8? 9? You know, who else have we had? Elon Musk. I think you mentioned him 4 times. So that what they want to do to us tonight is to say that a debate about humans, a debate about our future as humans, is actually a debate about this cast of villains. And it's great. I'm voting with you. If it's a debate on those individuals, I'll come and sit next to Damien now. But I don't believe it is a debate. I believe it's a debate about can humanity survive big tech? And if you believe in humanity, as I do, or I wouldn't be here tonight, and I wouldn't be here in Oxford, I wouldn't have decided to leave diplomacy and spend my life with these extraordinary humans around us, then you're voting for pessimism. You're voting that we're going to give up. You're voting that we can't beat big tech. Because yes, these are villains. You're right. Absolutely right. And yes, of course, we can find optimism in the creation of a markets and standards regulatory body. But I don't think that's the future of humanity. That doesn't fill me with hope about our future. Yes, big tech, much too powerful. Alex, you very kindly plugged my book, The Naked Diplomat, on sale at all good Waterstones platform. Incidentally, it's also available on Amazon, but I'm not plugging the... and that's partly because there's a review on the Amazon website, and I now realize Alex might have written it, that says, I was very disappointed with this book. I expected less diplomacy and more nudity. So in that book, and thank you, I made the case, this is 10 years ago, when I wrote this for the first time, that we should invite Google onto the UN Security Council. I then went to Google to have the argument with Google. And do you know what Google said to me? They said, why would we bother? We're more powerful than the countries on the UN Security Council. So I'm not here to defend Google or to say that's a good thing. I'm not here to defend the person whose name I'm sure you'll hear again and again and again, the main pantomime villain. And if you're watching Zuckerberg, I hope you're enjoying this. I'm not here to defend Zuckerberg. I went to California just before the lockdown to see the way in which the new gods of Silicon Valley were educating their kids. And I was impressed that it felt, like a startup, people wandering around, solving problems, laptops everywhere and so on. But I was particularly depressed to find that on every wall there was a portrait of Zuckerberg, the new emperor. And I don't know about you, but in this moment when we talk a lot about taking down statues, I have a bet to make with you tonight, and that's that give it a decade or two and we'll be taking down those portraits too. Because what these new emperors need to learn from the old emperors is that empires fall. And you can get too powerful, and you can get too arrogant, and you can get too corporate, and we've heard exactly what that leads to, including in the intervention there. So I'm not here to defend Elon Musk either, another great villain of the piece. I think there's an immense imbalance when you have people with the power that Elon Musk has. And to give you an example of this, I worked with Elon Musk and 200 tech entrepreneurs to write a letter to the UN Security Council that said, we are building weapons faster than we can manage them. Lethal autonomous weapon systems, drone weapons. And we need to know where the rules are. You've got to help us understand what are the constraints, the restraints to stop us crossing this line. And the reason I was so worried by that was that I then worked with the UN to try to draft the reply. Has anyone seen the reply? No, it hasn't been written yet. 3 years later, the UN is still arguing over who should actually draft the reply. And that example shows why we should worry. That imbalance in force between big tech and the international system. And we should worry even more because we're only just getting going. In the next century, we'll go through as much technological change as in the last 43 centuries. And that is like going from cave painting to the atom bomb in a century. And that will bring immense change to society and politics. And we have to be ready for that. We're building driverless cars. But what we're really building at the moment is a driverless world. And that should worry all of us. So, why am I not sitting there next to Damien, apart from the fact that 5-3 probably wouldn't be a fair distribution? I'm on this side because I believe in humans. I'm optimistic. I'm hopeful about what you will all do. I'm hopeful about humanity. 3 reasons, really. 1, we've been here before. And Maddie will come on to this in more detail. But when the printing press came along, we had an era of cacophony, slander, libel. It took time for the rules and the norms of society to catch up with this innovation. But we got there because humans are incredible. We've been working on this for centuries, for millennia. The rules did catch up, and they will catch up with the new emperors of the internet too. Second reason why I'm optimistic is this thing. It's burning a hole in your pockets tonight. You must be desperate to check your messages right now. This gives you, please don't check them right now. Oh, that's a strong hint. This thing gives us agency. The smartphone, this superpower in our pocket, allows us to influence the world around us in ways that our predecessors, our ancestors could never have imagined. And we will use the smartphone to hold the new emperors to account. The third reason why I'm confident and hopeful is that big tech is already on the wrong side, and we've heard it eloquently put, the wrong side of the 3 dividing lines, the 3 arguments that matter in the 21st century. Am I gaining or losing trust? They're losing trust. Am I contributing to inequality, or am I contributing to tackling inequality? And they're contributing to inequality. And finally, and this is maybe a metaphor they might recognize, in the way I handle this power that I have, am I playing Tetris? Old power, top down, organograms, discipline, corporate, defense, or am I playing Minecraft? Am I trying to build things together? Am I sharing power? Am I pooling the power that I have? So I back humans. I'm optimistic. And if you back humans, if you back yourselves, then you know which way you need to vote this evening. The Stone Age didn't end because we ran out of stones. But for me to be right, 3 things need to happen. 1, this next generation of leaders need to be much, much better than my generation of leaders. You will need to lead with the skills and the values that can't be automated, so that the robots and the machines work for you and you don't work for them. You'll need to cultivate empathy, emotional intelligence, curiosity. That's what helps us beat big tech. That's what helps us stay ahead of the machines. You'll need an education not just of the head, but also of the hand and the heart. Knowledge, skills, and values. Second reason why I think I could be right, but it depends on you. And that's that we need now to adapt the rules, to update the rules of global governance. The rules we stood in silence, remembering the sacrifice and that post-war generation after the Second World War that had seen the worst of humanity and decided that we would not go back to that again. Those rules of the game, the international architecture they built, are now collapsing around us. The UN can't respond to Elon Musk, but the UN is still the least bad idea for global coexistence that we've ever had. And we now need to build it up again, to rebuild the international scaffolding and architecture that can hold big tech to account and can take on the challenges we face. Big tech is too important to leave unrestrained. And technology and the way that humans can use it is too important to leave to big tech. And the reason why it matters so much is the third challenge to you all, which is that we have now to work together. These overlapping challenges, you know them as well as I do, from climate change to global economic crisis to the next pandemic, they require us to work together. The new peace processes, the Nobel Peace Prizes of the future between humans and the planet, between young and old, between host communities and migrant communities, between big government and, yes, big tech, and ultimately between humans and machines. They all require us to say to big tech, let's crack these problems together. And not to say it in the way that governments often do, like an uncle telling off a young person. And we have to say to big tech, you're not a teenager, a rebellious disruptor breaking things. Help us to start building things again. If we do that, then we crack the great challenge of the 21st century, which is to create more winners from technological change and help those who are left behind. That's why education, what you're doing here at Oxford, is really upstream diplomacy. And so if you believe in that, if you believe in humanity, and if you believe in yourselves, I look forward to marching with you through the No lobby. Thank you.